this is Planner Obsessed Teacher, and I am here to bring you the Erin Condren Teacher Lesson Planner launch items. I am so excited about this line. This is the one that I wait for every year, and I have to thank Samantha and Tonia and Tori for including me into this launch this time around. Everything is amazing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the planner first, and then I'll have another video about the accessories and some uses for those in the lesson planner, along with other places that I might use it. So let's get into it. I went on and put it inside this champagne vegan leather folio that's also available. It does have a snap. It's a magnetic snap, and when you open it, I haven't slid it in there completely, but when you open it, this is where you would slide it in. You have a place for additional papers or whatnot right there. This is the beautiful teacher lesson planner. This one came with the multicolor coil, which I love. I loved it when I got to see it at the factory tour, and when they were cutting them off for the life planners, I was like, I wonder if they're gonna leave them longer for the original length for the teacher planners, and I'm so glad that they did. Also with the folio, you've got an extra pocket here. This actually will fit the sticker book I'll show you later. Some pins here. This also is a pocket that has a snap on it. I haven't quite figured out the use for this one yet, but that pocket is there. And so let's get into it. I'm just going to leave the folio out here just because that way, you know, this beautiful cover will stay nice and pristine. So let's go on and get into it. This is the beautiful Etta V cover, Aspire to Inspire. I love the fact that the collection was named Inspire, both in the Life Planner and the Teacher Lesson Planner launch, because Inspire is such a great word for both your life and in education. So when we get into it, this is the new dashboard design. This one, the teacher planner, does not have the vellum like the life planner does. It just jumps right on in. It does have the all about me, your name, your information here. Some people don't like to fill all of this out, but for teacher planner, I don't think it's such a big deal because I just put my school phone here. Classroom resources, and the new thing right here is they actually have professional development labeled. For many years, what I've done is I've made custom labels. I've actually copied this part and just made my own little label, and I always made a professional development. I typically used the communication log for one of my PD locations, and I may still do that, but I love the fact that it's right here now. It says events and volunteers. Again, these are items that I don't necessarily use events and volunteers here. There might be volunteers, but this other box is usually something else. I do usually put the events here. This is usually just where I list the 9 weeks. But I love the design, how it goes all the way through the pages. I'm a very colorful person, and so I like to have the color where I don't have to go and find a whole bunch of stickers and everything, that the colors and the designs just speak for themselves. There's a page of communication log, again, with the Etta V pattern all the way through. And there's actually 2 pages, I believe. No, there's only these 2 pages of the communication log. Then you get to your 23, 24, all the way through December. Again, with the Etta V colors at the top. I usually don't look at this page too much. I just usually fill in like holidays and 9 weeks and that sort of thing on this page. Then we have our year at a glance. It goes from January to December. Again, the only thing that I would ask is that they start this and switch these 2 pages, July over here to June over here, for the teacher planners only, because that just makes sense. But it's not a big deal. You can get stickers and cover this, or I can just start here and then wrap over here. I've been doing this long enough that this is really not going to make a huge difference, but some people really do like to have it be an academic year from July to June. Then we have graph paper. I don't typically use this since I do teach middle school. I teach 7th grade here in Texas. And with all the different classes I have and all the different redesigns of the desks on a weekly basis, I don't really use these two graphic pages too much on anything. So they usually don't get used, but they're there. There's actually 4 of them here. So if you have multiple classes, you could do a seating arrangement or keep track of observations or records or something here. Then you get 2 completely blank pages. These are usually the pages I use for my beginning of the year PD or any kind of notes that I come up with over the summer that I'm going to take into my first month or so of school. Then we start with the July colors. You see the dates to remember in July. Our school district actually starts in service on July 31st. It's hard to believe. But since we are starting in July, I'm super thankful that July is in this planner. Because I'm going to start moving things around, setting up lesson plans, getting our websites updated, and things like that, being team leader and department head, before we actually go back. So July will actually get used in this planner, even though I'm not sitting in the classroom at the time. So this is our monthly calendar. Again, I love the designs this year. The past couple of years, there hasn't been anything up here, and so I've been ordering stickers, but I think this year, I'm going to leave it just like it is because every single month is gorgeous. And it's just enough pop and splash of color that I don't have to actually add anything to it. Then we get into July. So July is the navy blue. It still goes from a navy to a light blue as you go through. It's still a horizontal planner. There are some people that still really want that vertical. I can go both ways. Again, I teach middle school, and so I'm good with having my regular, my honors. This is usually my meeting section. And then I have extracurricular here, my to-dos to call, and then my homeroom. And so when I put those snap-in dashboards, the things that are not as important are covered by the dashboards, but it's easy to go back and see them. The things that are super important, I make sure that they're on this page or in this last column over here. And so we're just going to go through this July. All right, this is getting into August. Again, I use these pages right here for any kind of PD or curriculum meetings or faculty meetings. These are great pages for that. Again, you have the design that goes all the way through, and now you can kind of see the design. I have not really paid too much attention to the colors with the life planner and the multi-coil, but now you can see how even the colors that aren't on the coil go with the coil. And so again, you see the change. It's not a subtle change like it was with the color blends where it kind of blended from one to the other. Now you can definitely see the change from month to month. So we're back to that setup. Same thing with September. The purple looks really great with the coil. Just very natural right there. And then October. November, the blue and the pink look really good with that. December. January. All right, and then here's February. Oh, that's very bright and pretty. Okay, March. I love the teal. Another purple. I love that they use purple twice. That's my favorite. Okay, the May has gone back to a more of a peachy color. We had that pink for a while, but now it's kind of peachy. You see the difference between the April and the May, but the May has kind of gone back to a peachy color. And then the June has that bright teal that blends in. And then we go back to July. So this is actually going from July to July. I usually take the July 2024 out because I put so much like notes and sticky notes and stuff like that in this throughout the year that if I don't take out this month of July 2024, it's just going to be overwhelmingly large. And then after that, you have a couple of extra pages, and then you get into the checklist pages. Now, there are checklists in the teacher planner. You can get up to 20 of them. And so there's 20 of them in here. And you can actually, they're perforated, so you can fold them back, or you can just cut them off, and so that they overlap. I might do that this year. There were quite a few things that I had to print off roster lists to check off things, and so this might be easier. However, I'm in a very mobile district where kids move in and out a lot, and this column of kids would be changing constantly. Plus, some of my classes are bigger than the allowed number of lines right here. So that's why I tend not to use the student checklist, but you never know. This might be the year I do that. Then it says celebrate all the wins, big and small. And then we have the sticker sheets that come with it. It doesn't look like that they've changed much at all. They are pretty much the same as they've been. And that's okay. I actually use these stickers quite a bit. These are the ones that get used on my monthly calendars all the time. And then I also make my own clear stickers for labels at the top. This is the beautiful pocket cover that comes in all of the teacher lesson planners. It's pocket on both sides. And then you get the clear plastic pages. And then this one has your holidays. This one's January through June 2024. And then July through December 2024. And then July 23rd. July 2023 through December 2023. So you get a year and a half of the all the different holidays. And then I got 3 of the pocket sheets in my planner. And what I usually do is I actually snip these and will continue adding. So if there's pages that I want to keep, special procedures and those kind of things that I want to add year to year, I'll snip them out of my old planner, and I'll put them in the new teacher lesson planner. You could do the same thing with a folder. So if you wanted multiple folders, you could snip it right here and then tuck in multiple folders. Of course, if you're doing that, you're going to have to decide what of your planner you want to take out. You might want to take out the student checklists. You might want to take out the month of July. But even though it's a spiral, there's ways to switch it up a little bit. And so that's what I usually do with my planner. And then on the back, you have the normal dashboard. And then the beautiful back cover of the Etta V cover design. And so that's what the teacher lesson planner looks like. Now, let me take a little break, and then I'm going to come back and do a little testing with some of the items on the teacher lesson planner. Okay, now that we've looked through the teacher lesson planner, I wanted to go through some of the different pens and such that I actually use in my lesson planner on a regular basis. and let's see how they hold up on the paper in the teacher lesson planner. Now, for the most part, because I am a teacher, I actually use the Frixion pens. I use the erasable ones. These are not fancy, but they are my do or die, because just like any other teacher, your plans change constantly, and it's so much easier just to erase it and start over. And I do like it doing it in ink instead of doing it in pencil. And so let's just do a test really quick and see how they hold up here. So they write pretty well. The test is, I'm sorry if the camera is shaking. All right, we have almost a full erasure. There's not a whole lot of shadowing there. After about 2 or 3 times, because I've done this before where I've had to change the plans on one particular day, like 2 or 3 times. After 2 or 3 times, it starts to start showing and shadowing, but it actually does that on any kind of paper. And so that doesn't bother me as much. So we're going to write that test back on there. And then we're going to play with some of these dual ink, dual tip highlighter pens that also came in the launch set. These are your colors. Here you have Orchid, Iris, Cornflower, Pacific, Mermaid, Spruce, Aloe, Marigold, Nectarine, Salmon, Raspberry, and Peach. And so these are all the highlighter colors, and all of them have the black ink tip. And so I'm actually going to look at the Cornflower, and the nice thing is they actually label them now so that you can actually tell that that's Cornflower right there. And so you have your Cornflower, you have the pen end, which is the typical Erin Condren pen. The highlighter over the Frixion right there. Looks pretty good. So that's over the Frixion. And then this is over the black pen for EC. Now what I have noticed, okay, and we're going to test this with one other one. We're going to use the Nectarine. Ooh, Nectarine. I think the ink that EC is using for their black ink now is getting better. Because notice the bleed that we used to see when you hit it with that highlighter right afterwards. I didn't let this really dry, and I went right over it, and it's not too bad. You can see that there's just a little bit of a carryover, but I was pressing pretty hard on the top of that T, but it's not bleeding all the way across like it used to. So I think that's a new improvement. Now the other pens are these dual tip list markers. Let me move y'all back a little bit. The dual tip list markers right there. And I have the pink here is actually a check mark. So we're going to go back down through these. I'll do it right here. I like the check marks. They're very simple to use. The squares are a little harder to get just right. It just seems like one corner of it's just not quite as fluid as the other. There's check mark. Here's another check mark. These also have they have the fine tip and the check mark labeled, but they don't have the color labeled on these. Let's see, which one have I not used yet? The lime is a square. that one came out nice. The gray, I believe, is a square. And I think that's all of them. Yeah, so 3 check marks and 3 squares. And you can kind of see how they work. Then if you're looking at the pin ends, these two, let's see what they call this one, the orchid and the lagoon are in those colors, and then the rest of them, these 3 are in black. So these 3 are black pins on the end, and then the gray is a gray pin. So so you get a gray pin in this one. There, you see the gray pin. So the rest of them are black ink, and then those are the 3 special inks in that. So those are the pins that came with the Erin Condren launch. Those are some of them that are similar to what has already been launched, and then a couple of colors that I haven't seen yet. And so that is the lesson planner part of the video. The next one I'm going to be showing is going to be playing with some of the accessories in the lesson planner, and just how I can use some of those accessories without the lesson planner on their own. So hopefully I'll see you in my next video. I'm Planner Obsessed Teacher, and thank you for watching.